Welcome, everybody, to the Geek Dad Report. Well, more specifically, welcome to the 121st episode of the Geek Dad Report, the one show dedicated, formulated, specially created, and to bring you guys all the pop culture and nerd news you need to know for the week that is this week. I'm Brian West, and as you can tell, I'm all by myself here. Ryan Tomlinson decided to take a week off suddenly because his stupid, beloved Steelers are playing, whatever. You know what? We don't need you. Actually, it turns out I do need you. If I look tired, it's because this is the second recording of this show tonight. Yes, I recorded over an hour-long, spectacular episode. Honestly, no bullshit. I think it was one of the best episodes I've ever done. And my stupid computer did not render the file, and it corrupted the data, and it's gone. Gone. Where does it go? Hell, I don't know. Maybe you're a computer person and you know where my file went. But, well, actually, I know where it went. It just won't play. And it has a little bar through it and it says, this file cannot be read. Fuck you, file. Sorry. It was really disheartening. I recorded an hour and 5 minutes. And now I'm gone a little loopy. But you know what? We are off next week because of Thanksgiving. Some of you submitted questions for our Faithful 50. And damn it, I was not going to go by and not give you guys an episode. So, I'm recording a separate... See? I can't even talk. I've now been talking for an hour and a half. So the good news is I should be well broken. I should be just into this, ready. The bad news is I can already feel my voice starting to go because I've been doing this for a long time. So I'm going to give you guys full disclosure. You're going to get a Cliff Notes version of the show. I'm going to blow through the news. I spent a lot of time talking about really cool stuff. Now you're just getting the freaking headlines. I'm blowing through. I definitely want to talk about the Star Wars news that broke last week that we did not get a chance to talk about because we recorded a day early. And I'm going to read the recommendations. Well, I'm going to read the Faithful 50 questions, and I'm going to give you my recommendations. As you can tell, it's really late here. But I am a man of the people, and maybe you'll like the show better because it's going to be shorter. I have notes. It's structured, and there's no Ryan holding me back anymore. So you're just getting unadulterated me. You're getting double doses of Brian. Actually, I'm getting double doses of myself because you're never going to see the other episode. That was amazing. It was such a good episode. So you know what? Welcome to episode 121, part 2. Action. All right, first up, Ninja News time. You know what? I'm not doing all that fun little uppercut judo chop. I had a cool double Kirk fist. I went into this explanation about why come we don't get any cool Kirk double fist chops anymore. But you know what? That's gone. The computer's ruined it for everybody. So if you want more of that, maybe in a future show. But tonight you're not getting any of that. News. First up, Star Wars is a month away, everyone. This is a PSA announcement. 1 month. 1 month to go. Beware of spoilers. They were everywhere. The actors are dropping hints. People are talking about stuff they shouldn't be talking about. We're getting new trailers all the time. Just steer clear. 1 month, we get new Star Wars. We get The Last Jedi. They did release a couple new posters that look awesome. Feel free to check those out. I think they look amazing. An IMAX poster and a Dolby Digital. The IMAX one is my favorite poster they've released so far. It's amazing. That being said, Star Wars 1 month. Can't wait. All right, next up, Lord of the Rings. Something a lot of people can't wait for. It's now coming to Amazon. It's official. We talked last week that Amazon may be buying securing the rights to turn the movies, the property into a TV show. That is in fact going to happen. They have paid the Tolkien estate $250 million for the rights to do this. They're going to do 5 seasons with an option for a spinoff, and they are reportedly going to spend $1 billion on this. So that is a lot of Hobbit feet. It's a lot of money. It's a Hobbit ton of money. But if you don't like... Sorry, I'm getting Texas. Ignore those stupid Texas. People are like, hey, is the show up? No, it's not up because it got deleted because my computer hates me. But we're doing it again because I love you guys. Whatever. What are we talking about? Lord of the Rings, it's coming. If you're a big fan, Cool. What do I think? I saw the movies, never read the books. Sure, why not? I like Game of Thrones. That's a great show. Lord of the Rings, probably going to be a good show too. I like Man in the High Castle. What's the correlation? Well, it was based on a book and Amazon did it. So, and that's a good show. So I'm going to say Lord of the Rings, good show. A lot of people not happy about it. I'm happy about it. I think it's fine. Whatever. $1 billion. Amazon's banking that you're going to like it. They spent a lot of money on it. Whatever. Somebody who didn't like it, Christopher Tolkien, the son of the main Tolkien. Yeah, the guy who wrote the whole thing had a kid, and this kid has been running his estate. Well, he's tired of all this shenanigans, and he's stepping down. He's no longer going to be the head of the Tolkien estate. A lot of people speculate that this is partly, in fact, because of this Amazon deal. He was not a big fan. Well, he's also reached an elderly age, so it's probably time for him to step down anyway and enjoy the rest of his life. But it's well known that he was not a fan of the movies, and he's not a fan of expanding the story past where they already have it. Most of the stuff that he approved and he liked was a filling in of the current stories. A lot of fans of Tolkien hope that now that Christopher has stepped down, this means a new generation. We might get stories after the Lord of the Rings books, not just prequels and fill-in stories, but an additional new stories with maybe some of the returning characters. So that's what a lot of people are excited about. Who knows if it's going to happen, but there are changes afoot at the Tolkien Hobbit estate. I don't know if that's a real place, but whatever. The Hitman. If you like The Hitman, guess what? He's also getting his own TV show. This is a case of a movie that keeps continuing to flop. They've decided to take it a new direction. Hulu, I believe? Hulu has secured the rights to turn the Hitman franchise into an ongoing television show, which is being spearheaded by the John Wick creator. So if they can put this in the vein of John Wick, probably actually be a pretty good show. But whatever. I don't have Hulu, so like it matters. Anybody got a Hulu password they want to give me? Because there's a Hitman show I want to watch. But, whatever. Just call me. Next up, Super Mario Brothers is getting next up. That's a terrible segue. Speaking of things that are coming soon, Super Mario Brothers Mario's getting his own movie, an animated movie. Nintendo decided that a live-action movie would be a disaster if they did it. Good thing they never did it, because if they did, it'd been a total disaster. If you haven't seen the Super Mario Brothers movie, watch it. It's bad. But it's also kind of glorious, but also really bad. Anyway, they've cast aside the live action. They've decided they're going to go with an animated version. They are doing, they handed over to Illumination Studios, who are well known for the Despicable Me franchise and Minions. They do pretty good work. Super Mario Brothers will probably look Super Mario and follow the games. I'm sure it'll be a hit, whatever. No word on when it's coming out, but it's coming out, so get excited. Let's see here. What else we got? Blah, 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 blah. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It's coming out. Sequel. Everyone didn't have a working title. Everyone was just calling Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them Part 2. Apparently, they didn't want that to happen anymore, so they released their first motion poster and revealed today, 365 days from the release of the movie, the title of the next movie. And actually gave us a pretty cool in the poster. Gave us a screenshot of all the cast of characters, and the dogs are barking. Stupid dogs. Hopefully no one's robbing me. Whatever. This is my last show. It's been real, people. You guys are awesome. And no, they gave us the first look at the entire cast of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and gave us the new name. Wait for it. It is going to be Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, The Crimes of Grindelwald. So it sounds like this movie is going to be diving a lot more into the lore of Harry Potter that we'd hoped for when we heard they were making these movies. Whatever. We got a picture of the cast too. We got our first look at Jude Law as Dumbledore. I don't know. Doesn't look like Dumbledore, but whatever. Who cares? I think it's going to be cool. I'm excited for it. Like I said, hopefully this dives a lot more into the Harry Potter universe lore that we were hoping for, and less about magical creatures and eccentric, I don't know, zookeepers, and more about like wizard wars and people flinging their wands around and stuff. Whatever. Anyway, hey, I think it's cool personally. Let's see what else we got here. You know the thing I don't think is cool? Sexual assault. And apparently there's been a lot of it in Hollywood if you haven't been following the news. And it seems like we cannot go another week without hearing about some awful just awful human beings doing awful, terrible things to people and just being sexual predators and generally awful human beings. So, anyway, Brett Ratner, talked about him, I think, last week about some of the terrible things he did. Well, apparently he's part of the Rat Pack studio that funds movies, and Wonder Woman, the original Wonder Woman movie, was actually partially financed, or all financed, by Rat Pack Studios. And Wonder Woman herself, Gail Gadot, came out and said, listen, Warner Brothers, if you guys are going to continue to do business with this predator, I'm not going to be in the movie. And Warner Brothers, to their credit, said, we agree, and they kicked Brett Ratner loose, and he will no longer be any part of Wonder Woman. So, kudos to Warner Brothers for doing the right thing, and kudos to you, Gail, for standing up for what you believe in. And like I said, man, it's awesome that she stood up and said no, and it's great that people are actually listening. Lots of times people like to say things, and people are like, yeah, we're with you, but then when, the tire hits the pavement, things really don't change and don't happen. It's good to see that it seems like Hollywood is very much looking to cut ties with some of these people that have been preying on people for a very long time. And, let's clean up Hollywood. Let's make it a fun place to work. It shouldn't be a place where you work and have to get groped to get a job or worse things. I mean, some of these stories are just insane. People kicking in doors and rubbing one out in front of people. It's just weird shit. Who does that? God, these people are terrible. Next up, Andrew Kreisberg, the basically founder of the Arrowverse on CW, who's brought us such great shows as Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, Arrow, Supergirl. I don't know if I said Supergirl, but all those wonderful shows. Andrew Kreisberg has been a huge part of bringing them to us. Well, yeah, apparently he's a creep too. Multiple allegations of misconduct and using his power to basically do some icky things has come out, and the CW has suspended him indefinitely until they can come to get to the bottom of this investigation. Unfortunately for him, well, not unfortunately for him, if these are all true, he deserves everything he's getting, but there is more than one. There's a lot of allegations. They all tend to be similar, and it sounds like this guy was kind of a creep. So, kudos, like I said, to CW for stepping up immediately and saying, dude, you're out of here until we can get this whole thing resolved and investigated. Obviously, if he's not guilty, hey, come on back. But the evidence is mounting up. I think this is going to, unfortunately, for him, well, not unfortunately, he's a dick. This is bad. You deserve to go, Kreisberg. But obviously, what this means for the CW, I don't know. It sucks for us. It sucks that he decided he wanted to do these things. He was such a huge force in bringing these things to us, and we love them as much as we do. But whatever, man. If you're a bad dude and you're using your position to prey on people, then you got to go, man. That's all I'll say about that. Another story that came out this last week, it wasn't a dude for the first time. It was a lady preying on people. Allison Mack, who you may know as Chloe Sullivan in Smallville. Little girl, blonde, kind of a little reporter, Lois Lane of the show, before Lois Lane showed up. Yeah, apparently she's the second in command of a sex cult. Apparently she's been using her position to lure in women with promises of, I don't know, stardom, who knows, and basically enslaving them into a weird sex cult. What is wrong with people? Like, seriously, is like everybody just a weird sexual predator, like, in lurking? Sylvester Stallone had a story came out today that him and his bodyguard did some terrible things to a 16-year-old girl. What is wrong with you people? Listen, if there are any people in Hollywood who watch this show, anybody who's thinking about being a producer or maybe is in a position of power, and you're sitting around going, I got some weird things that are going through my head. Now that I'm a position of power, I should do them. No, you should not do them. Be a good person. Go see a therapist. See a shrink. Everyone's got weird fetishes. I mean, hell, 50 Shades of Grey's out, and you've seen all that weird shit in that movie. But, people like strange things. The key word is consenting, people. That is what you need to know. Consenting. You know what? You take a shower, you get a personality, you comb your hair, you just be nice to people. I bet you could go out and find a nice lady who's willing to, engage in the things that you want to do and she wants to do. Hey, it's called consent, and it's awesome. But what you can't do is be like, well, I don't want to do that. That's too much work. I'm just like going to look really bad and be an asshole and just be real greasy and then I'm gonna get myself promoted like where I'm a boss, and then I'm just gonna make everybody do these terrible things or watch me do terrible things because they don't want to lose their job. That's the bad way. That's what you shouldn't do. It's awful. You're a bad person. You're a predator, and you're gonna go to jail. Hopefully, at the very least, you're gonna lose your job and be out of Hollywood. God, awful people. But whatever, man. You know what? I can't anymore, man. There's just too many terrible people in this world. If you're a terrible person, just go away. Go prey on other terrible people. I don't know what to tell you. Whatever. Moving on. God, 1 week. Can we get 1 week without hearing about somebody who's just a bad person? I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad all this is coming out. It needs to come out. But it's just like, you're like, holy crap. This is like a rampant thing, right? Like, these people need to go, right? We need to get them out of here. Can we just get them all in one fell swoop? Let's just like, if you're a lady or a guy and somebody's done something horrible to you, don't hold back anymore. Come out now, man. Just be like, you know what? You did this. You deserve to go down for it. Let's get these guys and ladies and just get them out of here. Get these scumbags out. We don't need them. We don't want them. Time for them to go. That's all I'm saying. All right, moving on. Something that doesn't need to go is Justice League, and I'm really excited for that. I'm super excited. Justice League comes out tomorrow. For some of you watching this right now, I will be in the theater as you're listening to this. I'm very excited. You know, the critics of the Rotten Tomatoes come out. Critics are just crapping all over it. Shocker. Critics don't like a DC movie. Weird. I think it's currently at 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, I have one thing to say to all those critics and Rotten Tomatoes. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Who cares? Who cares what you think? Nobody cares what you think. I'm out. Going anyway. I don't give a damn. It's got Superman. Look. Movie's got this dude. It's got this dude. It's got that wonderful lady right there. And his new character, Aquaman. He's never been in a movie before. I don't care. I'm in. I can't wait to go. I'm very excited for Justice League. Do not worry. We will give you guys our full review on this show. But go see Justice League, man. I mean, I guarantee you're going to have fun. If you like comic book movies, you know, we are lucky to have these movies. If we hadn't have gotten Batman v Superman, which I know a lot of you hate, we probably wouldn't have got Wonder Woman, and everybody loves Wonder Woman. So sometimes you got to deal with some things to get the things you love. So just go see Justice League. If it's a flop, they're just going to reboot it again, which means we'll lose Gale. We'll lose a lot of things we liked about Superman and Man of Steel. I mean, we're probably going to get a new Batman anytime soon anyway, so if you don't like Batfleck, well, he's going to be gone soon anyway. We got Jason Momoa coming in as Aquaman. Everyone seems to like him. But just go see Justice League. It's coming out this weekend. A lot of other countries are really excited. Brazil had the biggest opening ever. $8 million. Pretty big for Brazil, I guess. So Justice League, it sounds like, could do better overseas than in America. That being said, they're shooting for about $120 million opening weekend, which is definitely a disappointment considering, you know, the Avengers scored something like $190 million, and this is obviously basically, you know, this is DC's Avengers, so not what they had anticipated when they originally decided to do a shared universe. But who cares? You know what? Go see it. I'm excited for it. Let me know what you think about it once you guys go see it. And like I said, we'll talk about it on the show going forward. But go see Justice League. Like I said a minute ago, Ben Affleck sounds like he may not be long for this universe. The rumor is he's trying to find a graceful way to kind of bow out of the whole universe, which isn't really surprising considering how much, you know, it hasn't been the best received. I think he hoped for a better received superhero movie when he signed up for Batman. But whatever. He's gotten way more publicity from this than I think he wanted, and I think he's looking for a way out. Rumor is that Matt Reeves, the director for the new upcoming Batman trilogy, already has somebody in mind. Now, take this with a grain of salt. This is a rumor, but the rumor is that he wants Jake Gyllenhaal to be the next Batman. You know what? I ain't got nothing to say. I go see movies for Batman. I could care less who plays Batman, and I think Jake Gyllenhaal's a good actor, so. Sure, why not? Get the other half of Brokeback Mountain in there. Play Batman. Who knew Brokeback Mountain was a prequel? All right. Let me know. I'd love to know what you guys think of Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman. Speaking of Jake Gyllenhaal, James Franco. I don't know if that's a good segue or not, but hey, whatever. James Franco apparently is also joining the superhero universe. He's going to be playing Jamie Maddox, the Multiple Man. So if you don't know his power, he's an X-Men. I think he's the current leader of X Factor. His ability, he can multiply himself numerous times. I'm not sure if there's actually a limit to the amount of times he can replicate himself. But pretty cool character. I think he's a detective in the comic books right now, so I don't know how they're going to do this. All I know is that I really hope Seth Rogen's in this movie. They're going to miss a golden opportunity if he's not. But who knows? We'll see. All I do know for a fact is that Fox seems to be wanting to sell their movie studio, and apparently they have a new buyer right now. Disney may be regretting not hopping on that train real quick, because it sounds like Comcast, who also owns Universal, is now looking at possibly buying 20th Century Fox. Doesn't mean if they do that we won't get the X-Men back into the DC and the Disney universe, but Marvel universe, they could buy it and sell that off if they wanted to. But definitely means Fox is probably going to be asking for more money, and Disney's going to have to offer more if they want this property. So we'll see. This story is far from done. And let's see, it's about all the news we got. We had some new trailers drop this week. Deadpool being the new one, the biggest one. Deadpool 2, we got a teaser trailer. We had, if you have not seen it, it's a great trailer. In typical Deadpool fashion, they don't give us a minute of footage. They parody. You know what? Just watch it. Just watch it. You get some new footage. It's great. I don't even want to spoil what it is. Just go on. You're gonna click on it, and at first you're gonna think it's not a Deadpool trailer. You're gonna think it's some dude with the giant afro painting, and you're gonna be like, wait a minute, this looks familiar. Just watch it. It's great. It's funny. It's totally Deadpool. Anybody thought that Deadpool 2 wasn't going to be like Deadpool 1, I think you can put that fear aside. This is definitely going to be like Deadpool 1. Just as great, in my opinion. They also released a really cool poster. I mean, Deadpool is continuing their trend of having the best marketing ever. The first poster they released on the heels of Thanksgiving coming up is everyone in Deadpool, the Deadpool family, huddled around a turkey having the Deadpool, holidays. And basically, it gives us a good look at all the characters that are going to be returning for the sequel. Most notably is Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead are both coming back. It looks like pretty much everybody from the first one is going to be coming back and joining newcomers Domino and Cable in this movie. So I think it's going to be great. I cannot wait for Deadpool 2. I think it's going to be amazing. Another trailer that dropped this week is the new Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Jam Rampage. That dude seems to have a new movie come out about every 3 months. This one, if you don't know, is based on the video game from the 80s where you had like a gorilla, a lizard, and a wolf, the giant, and they smash these buildings. And anyway, it's a fun game. The movie looks like it follows suit in a fun way. You know what? It looks fun. It's from the director of San Andreas. If you've ever seen that movie, it basically looks like they took Kong and San Andreas, smashed them into one movie, and that's what we're going to get. Looks typical Rock. It's going to be a lot of fun. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Next up, Hotel Transylvania released a new trailer. I did not know this movie. I knew this movie was coming, but I didn't know it was already pretty much here. I believe it's slated for early next year. It's more of the same. If you like Hotel Transylvania, which my family does, it looks like a fun Hotel Transylvania movie. If you don't like Adam Sandler and Hotel Transylvania, well, then you probably won't like the third one because it's pretty much more of the same. But check it out. I'm sure your kids will like it. We got a couple new trailers for TV shows. The first one came out in October, and we missed it. And I saw it, and I just was amazed by it. There's a trailer. It's called Happy. It's for a new show called Happy. Coming out on December 6th on Sci-Fi Channel. Basically, it's based on a comic book about a guy, this dirtbag hitman ex-cop who dies and is brought back to life. But while he was in that, middle zone of death, he runs into an imaginary friend called Happy, who's a pink cartoon unicorn. Well, apparently he's the imaginary friend of a little girl who was kidnapped, and he's trying to save her, and so he attached himself to this guy who almost died, and he can see him, and now together they have to go save this little girl. If it sounds crazy, the trailer looks insane, and honestly, I cannot wait to see it. It looks like one of the most original, just nuts shows ever, and I can't wait for it. December 6th, Sci-Fi Channel. Check out the trailer. Let me know what you think. I think it's going to be epic, but that's just me. And then lastly, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. dropped a new trailer. Thank God it's coming back in the first week of December. We have been subjected to 8 weeks of one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my entire life, The Inhumans, and I'm glad it's done. I'm glad it's done. I don't want to talk about it. It's like a bad experience that happened to you, that you just, something when you were real drunk, you made a really wrong choice, and you just don't want to talk about it anymore. And that's how I feel about Inhumans. Damn you, Marvel. It could have been great, but it was not. So I'm really looking forward to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The next season looks like they're going to be in space. They have looks like a lot of tie-ins to Guardians of the Galaxy. This is definitely the Guardians of the Galaxy seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They have, check it out. You'll notice all the things there. They got the Kree. They got Star-Lord's helmet. They got some of the same tech from Guardians of the Galaxy, some of the same ships. It looks like a ton of fun, and last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was one of the strongest yet, and I think they're going to build on it and make another great season. So check it out. The trailer's out. Let me know what you think. Moving on, our main topic of the night, and I'm going to scale this down. Like I said earlier, I talked a whole bunch about it, but I'm so tired and my voice is starting to go. So I'm going to try and hit the main points on this and move forward. There was some really big news that dropped the day after we recorded last week, which we knew was going to happen. We didn't know it was going to be this, but it was really big news. Star Wars, Bob Iger on their, yearly conference call to their shareholders where they talk about the things they have coming out, announced that Star Wars is getting a new trilogy, a brand new trilogy, written, directed, produced, and spearheaded by Rian Johnson, who did The Last Jedi. So this tells me two things. One, it tells me that they have a lot of faith in The Last Jedi, and that the rumors that we keep hearing about this movie sound like they could be true, that The Last Jedi could be, in fact, the best Star Wars movie we've ever had. The reason why I think this could confirm that is the fact that they are putting a lot of faith. We have seen nothing from Rian Johnson. If they weren't so sold on this movie, they would wait to announce this after the movie came out, not before. But the fact that we are getting this information beforehand, considering the history they've had with directors recently, where they had to fire a lot of them and bring in Han Solo, they had to reshoot the entire movie practically. They are showing a lot of faith, which tells me that The Last Jedi just blew them out of the water. The fact that they were willing to move forward with a whole new trilogy of new characters, new locations, new everything, a whole new corner of the universe of Star Wars, and give it to this guy tells me that The Last Jedi is freaking amazing, and that Lucasfilms is just head over heels excited about this film. So that's the first bit of news. The second bit of news, like I just said, is that this is a whole new trilogy. This is not episode 10, 11, and 12. This is a new Star Wars story with new characters in a new part of the galaxy telling new stories. This is really big news, and I think it's really important. I know some people were hoping that this was going to be more tie-ins to what we currently have. Now, I think we're still getting those, and it sounds like we're still going to get episode 10, 11, and 12, but it sounds like we're also going to have another story, another trilogy of movies that don't tell the same story, which is what I think is what I'm getting is that is what I believe is the important thing here. Is I think it's important that Star Wars expand. If we want to continue to have Star Wars stories, and this universe can sustain movies every single year and grow like the Marvel Universe has, we have to tell new stories of different parts of the universe and not about this one main conflict. Sorry if I sound like I'm rambling. I literally talked about 40 minutes from this stuff, so I'm trying to think of what I said and what I didn't say. I am officially going delirious from show number 2 tonight, so I apologize for that. But that is not your fault. You were not here for that, so I need to pull it together. So give me a second. All right, ready to go again. 1, 2. So, Rian Johnson's trilogy. I believe this is a very important step to having additional trilogies to the current stories that we have now, because we got to be able to see if Star Wars can sustain more than just the Skywalker story, right? This is a universe that is a huge universe, and I believe it's ripe for storytelling, ripe for more storytelling than just what we have. A lot of people have asked me what I think this is going to be about. I think there's two possibilities. One, I think there's the possibility that we could be getting Knights of the Old Republic. That is something that a lot of people have speculated on. If you're not familiar with Knights of the Old Republic, the original Xbox had an exclusive game developed by Star Wars called Knights of the Republic. Basically, it took place 1,000 years before A New Hope, or before the prequels, and it told the story of the Jedi who protected the universe and the thousands of Sith that were constantly trying to fight them for the universe. It's an amazing story. It was huge in scope. It was very much Star Wars, but completely different at the same time. It's one of the more beloved stories. Now, if they did this, there would be some flexibility where you could tell your own stories. You were not beholden to the lore of the current storyline. You just obviously couldn't kill all the Jedi or change a few major pieces, but you could do whatever you wanted to with the characters. You could introduce a lot of new people, and you could tell some epic stories. That being said, I do not think this is the direction that they are going to go. I actually think that they're going to push more towards the unknown regions. Recently in Rebels and a lot of the stuff they're doing now, even Snoke, and the First Order coming from the kind of unknown regions where they've been hanging out. I feel like they are really building that is an area of Star Wars that they want to tell, stories they want to tell in. It's a whole big unknown galaxy, the unknown regions in the Star Wars universe. If you've read the books before they made them legacy books, some of the more popular books faced a villain called the Yuuzhan Vong, who came from the unknown regions, and they kind of negated the Jedi's ability to sense them in the Force, and it became a bloodbath for the galaxy. And I just think there's a lot of things when you have unknown region, unknown this, unknown that. Obviously, it's unknown, so it's just ripe for storytelling. You could create new characters. You could create new stories. The Force, as Yoda told us, is all around us. It encompasses all living things. It binds us together. You could easily have a whole new sect of Force users that aren't Jedi, that are something else. If the Jedi are like samurais, maybe you have like English knights, maybe you have that version of Force users that are in somewhere else in the galaxy, and you're telling their stories. It opens up the Star Wars universe and tells us more than just this one story. Think back in ancient history, you had the Romans taking over a lot of the known world, but you had things going on in South America. You had Aztecs and stuff. I don't know if the timeline lines up, but you had these giant conquering races. You had these huge epic things going on in other places that had absolutely no idea about what was going on until, nobody knew about Genghis Khan until he showed up on your doorstep. Nobody knew about Alexander until he conquered the known world. And you have stories like that. You have this giant galactic empire and First Order storyline that take up so much of the known galaxy, but you could have equally ginormous stories in the unknown regions that are ripe for storytelling, and you could still very much be Star Wars. So I think personally that's where they're going with this. I could see a scenario where you continue on with episode 10, 11, and 12, and that trilogy eventually collides with the new trilogy we got. And now you can tell a giant conflict, Avengers style, where you bring together massive heroes, these two parts of the universe, and you could tell huge, even a bigger story than what we've already had. So personally, that's where I think Star Wars is going with this. That's where I think Lucas and Disney films, or Disney and Lucasfilms, are going with this. And I don't know. I think it's nothing but good news for us Star Wars fans. It means the universe is ever expanding, and we're going to get some amazing Star Wars stories out of this whole thing. So I'm very excited. The other bit of news that came out of this conference call that they had, Bob Iger had, is that we are finally getting the long-rumored live-action Star Wars show is being developed as we speak. It is going to launch alongside the Disney streaming service, which we actually predicted on the show a few weeks ago. No surprise. Why not use your biggest property to promote your streaming service? Something else that got announced was that they're also going to be doing a Marvel series, a new Marvel series for the streaming service. There's still some rumor whether or not the Netflix shows are going to go to the streaming service. I've heard they are, I've heard they aren't. I don't really know. The only thing I know for a fact is apparently Netflix is not going to be allowed to make any new shows. So the shows that they currently have, we're going to get multiple seasons of, but that'll be pretty much it. Everything from now on is going to be developed for the new streaming service. They also have a Monsters, Inc. show, a High School Musical show, and another show that they're doing for the original shows for the streaming service. But back to the Star Wars show, a lot of people want to know what's it going to be about. They haven't announced that. What do I speculate it's going to be about? My guess is it's going to be, by the time the streaming service comes out, we're going to be wrapping up this new trilogy. So I think what they're going to do is I think they're going to finally be free to start filling in that 30-year gap between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. And I think that's where the new show is going to be set. Whether it's about bounty hunters, I don't know. The original live-action show that George Lucas pitched all those years ago was kind of the underworld, bounty hunters, stuff like that of Star Wars universe. Will it be like that? Who's to say? Will it be about Luke building Jedi Order or new Jedi Temple? Maybe, probably not. But if I had to guess, I would say it's going to fit somewhere in that 30-year gap, and they're going to start trying to fill that in. But either way, I don't care. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be fantastic. And I'm going to be getting it. I'm going to subscribe to that. The other bit of news is that they said that their service is going to be cheaper than Netflix. So they don't even have it out yet, and they're already undercutting their biggest competition. So whatever. That's what I would do. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about the new Star Wars news and where you think that they're going to be going with this. And we'll discuss it. All right, moving on. Faithful 50. So for the second time tonight, I will answer the questions that I got. I'd like to thank everybody who submitted a question. The post went up a little bit late because the show went up late. I did not know. Well, like I said, Ryan first canceled, and Ryan usually does the Facebook post, and he forgot to also put up the Facebook post, so I did not put it up till late. So I apologize for that. All right, but anyway, thank you everyone who did take a moment to ask a question. I do appreciate it. So the first up is, oh God. All right, so Ryan, listen. When you post a question, I can see your name. It says Ryan Tomlinson posted it. So even when you say, hey, this is Blian Blommelson again, I know it's you, okay? You would have to open a new profile as Blian Blommelson. I know it's you. But he wants to know what my favorite pizza topping is. So honestly, when it comes to pizza, I'm kind of a classic guy. I like the meat lovers. I like pepperoni, sausage, hamburger, bacon, preferably in a good cheese crust. Yeah, that's my favorite. But I'm also privy a little bit more than I probably should be as a grown man to Canadian bacon and pineapple. I guess privy isn't the right word. I really enjoy a good Canadian bacon and pineapple pizza. So what I like to do is if I get 3 slices of pizza, it's usually when I get my dish, I get 2 of the meat lovers and 1 of the Canadian bacon, pineapple, just to change the palate up a little bit. But that's kind of my go-to slices of pizza. If I'm feeling really frisky and I want to try something, they make a chicken bacon pizza that has a white sauce that is fantastic. So there you go. Thank you, Blian Blommelson, for that question. I appreciate it. And Jeff, good old Jeff. Jeff, I'd like to thank you. I know you were doing a social media blackout because you were as excited as I am for the Justice League movie and people were spoiling it. So I appreciate you taking time and going against that and posting a question. Appreciate that. Jeff wants to know, does all the crap with EA change my mind about buying Battlefront 2? For those of you who don't know, Battlefront 2 is the new Star Wars game coming out. Recently got announced that they're doing an almost gambling-style loot system within the game. You buy the game, but to unlock everything, unless you want to play like thousands of hours, you have to pay to unlock everything. In fact, some people were saying that it was going to cost as much as $2,000 to unlock everything, which in itself isn't. There are games that you pay to get bonuses, but this system's even more nefarious. You have to pay, but you're not guaranteed to get something, right? So in a lot of ways, it's a gambling system. You pay money and you get a luck of the roll, and you don't know what that is. Most games have stayed away from this, other than maybe your phone games, because phone games are usually targeted towards adult, and they actually say in-game purchases. Most console games don't do this because consoles still are played by a lot of children, and most people don't want children to gamble. Needless to say, this got out, people lost their minds, and Disney was not happy, which they shouldn't be. Star Wars and Disney are both known as family brands that are promoted to children. And this is one of the first video games to basically have a gambling system inside the game that you have to pay to play to make your characters better, that you can't unlock under normal achievements. So a lot of games will say, listen, you know what? You give us $20, we'll give you you unlock everything, and you don't have to play a lot to play hundreds of hours to unlock it. That's been going on for a long time. But most systems don't say, hey, you're gonna pay us and we're gonna randomly allow you to unlock characters. It's a terrible system. Needless to say, on Reddit, EA tried to apologize. It got 650,000 downvotes, which means people were displeased with it. The previous record holder was 200,000 on something else. So everyone is just furious to the point where EA has had to release a statement. Jeff also posted the official statement here. Let's see if I can find it again. Let's see here. The official statement is as goes. As we approach the worldwide launch, it's clear that many of you feel there are still challenges in the design. We've heard the concerns and about potentially giving players unfair advantages, and we've heard that this is overshadowing an otherwise great game. This was never our intention. Sorry we didn't get this right. We hear you loud and clear, so we're turning off all in-game purchases. Good. We will now spend more time listening, adjusting, balancing, and tuning. This means that the option to purchase crystals in the game is now offline. Like I said, good. And all progression will be earned through gameplay. Awesome. The ability to purchase crystals in-game will become available at a later date. Oh, and you blew it. Way to go. Only after we've made changes to the game. We will share more details as we work through this. So basically, this is our way of saying, we got caught with our pants down. Our bad. We'll fix it until you aren't noticing it again later, and then we'll reintroduce it. This is bullshit. This whole system needs to be completely redesigned, fixed, and, no, gambling is not okay. It's not any model that basically promotes a form of paying for you don't know what you're going to get. And if you want the whole contents of the $60 game, you're going to have to pay us hundreds of dollars to get it, is bullshit. And this is a giant black eye for EA and for Disney. And hopefully everyone keeps the pressure on to get this fixed. Does that mean I won't buy the game? No, I'll buy the game. But I'm not, because I am really excited for Star Wars. I love the game. I love Star Wars. The game looks great. The single player mission looks really good too. It's worth the $60. I will not spend a single dime on in-game content until they fix this, though. You want to sell me an expansion pack where I can buy all the characters and a couple missions for $20? Fine, it's a set price. I know what I'm getting. I'm totally okay with that. Most games do that already, but I will not spend a single dollar of in-game content until you fix this broken system. So there you go. Hopefully I answered your question, Jeff, and I'd like to know if you guys are excited for this game or if you are like, screw you, EA, you're out. All right, moving on. Recommendations, because it's getting late. I'm so tired. Oh my God, I'm officially over 2 hours of recording the same show. I don't need any sympathy. I'm just, if I seem a little delirious and my voice is starting to go, like I've said about 3 times, that's why. All right, my recommendations, I'm going to keep it short. Go see Justice League. I talked a little bit about it a minute ago. You know what? Go see it. I'm excited to go see it. Go see it. Plus, I want to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Go see it. You're not going to be able to listen to me talk about it if you haven't seen it. So go see it. Looks good. And second, if you don't want to see that, which you're crazy not to, but you should totally go see it. But if you have Netflix, The Punisher for Marvel is coming out this weekend. If, like me, you're looking for a good Marvel show to take that nasty taste of the humans out of your mouth, I think The Punisher could be the one. He was a great character introduced in season 2 of Daredevil, and I'm very much looking forward to his own show. So that is currently streaming right now for free on Netflix. Check it out, Justice League Punisher. So thank you everybody for giving me a watch tonight, giving the show a watch. If I am not at my best, please, like I said earlier, I'm sorry, but you know what? Damn it, it's how much I love you guys. This is the second time recording the same exact show tonight, and I did it for you guys. We are off next week. I didn't want you guys to have to go a couple weeks without hearing from us and getting our opinion on the new Star Wars information, the new news especially. So thanks for watching. Like I said, no new show next week. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy the time with your family. Eat way too much turkey. Drink too much alcohol. Not enough that's going to get you in too much trouble, and only if you're over the age of 21. But enjoy drinking some beers, watching some football, and eating turkey and hanging out with your family. So from the Geek Dad Report, wish you happy holidays, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. We will be back. I will be back. I don't know if Ryan's coming back. If you guys don't want Ryan to come back, please hit me up on Twitter at BrianWest53. Or you can hit us up at the Geek Dad Report on Twitter. You can hit us up at Geek Dad Report on Facebook. You can hit Ryan up at Big Bruiser on Twitter. We are not on Instagram. We are not on Grindr. We're not on Tinder. We're also not on Snapchat. But we may be on some of those things. Probably never Grindr. Maybe Tinder. Definitely Snapchat. Probably Instagram. But right now you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, podhell.com on the interwebs. And on iTunes, of course, the Geek Dad Report. Like, subscribe, share. Let everybody know that you like us. Give us a 5-star review. It helps us promote the show. We don't ask for any money, but we would love it if you guys gave us a little bit of positive feedback, and recommended us to your family and friends. Thanksgiving, perfect time to say, hey, we got this great podcast that we love and that you guys should love too. But I think that's it. I hope that's it. I'm going delirious. So, Geek Dad Report versus the NFL. I will be back next week. I don't care how many picks Ryan gets over me. Screw him. It's my show. I started it. I'm coming back. But check it out. Ryan did the last episode. You can see his picks and mine as well. Always on our show. So thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week for the Geek Dad Report versus NFL. No regular show, but I may try and do a Justice League review, but whatever. I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. You know what? It's late. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you forgive me for a subpar show. I promise the first one was amazing. Anyway, until next time, guys, happy Thanksgiving. Stay awesome, and go see Justice League. Because it's got Superman, and he's super awesome. All right, guys. Later.